How many? Four. And then we would get four people to represent each of those syllables, and I'd get them to come up, and we would you would interlock your arms over each other. Okay, so that's what integrated is about. It's about meshing together, so those four people would come in, and if they lock their arms in a certain way, they're able to hold up another student. Also, to reinforce that concept, we'd have two pieces of material, and they would examine the integration of the fabric, so the things weaving in and out, and then I'd have another one that might lack integrity. It would have holes in it, it would be very weak, and you could have the kids drop a weight through the material and to see what happens with integrity. It's strong. Without integrity, it's unable to perform its duty. And again, in the see it or the symbolized stage, we would use the shape of a square to represent integrity. So I would probably draw a square up properly. You might even write sounds in there. And we'd use the square. Why would we use a square? Because it's equal. It's about equality. So your actions are matching your deeds, your actions. Sorry, your words. Okay? And then we could get the kids to cut sides of a shape. Just cut four sides. Some would be the same and some would be different. And this would represent words, and this would represent actions. If you had two of them, could they make a square out of that? No. But if there's equality and you have four equal sides, you have integrity. Okay, I don't know, it's a bit out there. So yeah, fair and square would be that sort of term to remember integrity. Okay. So anyway, we move on to storytelling. And for storytelling, we thought because our community need is drug awareness, we would get somebody in from the Ministry of Health or a police department, and they would share real life stories about the use of drugs. Maybe they'd use a real case scenario about how a kid got into drugs and what was the effect. And how it also affects the family and whatnot. Okay, singing it, there is Louisa told me there's a Tongan song. I don't know it. It's about drug awareness. I don't know if anybody knows it, but she was singing it. And she doesn't know the name, so we'd have to find that out. And we would create, she's here. We would create a class would create a song, more so about wise choices, how to make the correct choices. So the lyrics would revolve around making correct choices, and your actions and your words being the same. Then in the core content of the unit, the kids would research the effects of drug use. They would interview people, representatives of the Ministry of Health, policemen, perhaps ex-alcoholics, if it was appropriate. Just to get a personal feel for what drugs do, but they would also go and research what the textbooks say about drug use. For a science experiment, we thought they could do what's called the worm test. You have a jar of water, you have a jar of a drug, alcohol maybe, Probably alcohol, yeah. It's always, yeah. And you drop a worm into the jar of water, and you would see that the worm thrives in that environment. It's clear, it's clean, and it becomes, it stays healthy. You would drop a worm into the alcohol, and it would shrivel up and probably die. And so they can see a visual, that's a very visual way of doing it. Sending it, we would send our findings that we've done to the library in the high school with graphs and yeah. So that's there for kids to, if they choose to look at it, they will. We write a letter of thanks to the speaker that came to address the children and mentioning the appreciation for the contribution they're doing for drug awareness. For sharing it with the community, there's a drug awareness dance that can be done. It can be modified so that all the kids in the class can take part in this drug awareness dance. And they will create posters from their findings with graphs, where they're integrating the maths in there, and put those up in a public place, perhaps the library, perhaps in town. We've seen signs up in town about drug use that probably the Ministry of Health put up about the detrimental of taking drugs. So the kids would create a sign to put up in town along similar lines. That would incorporate many language skills, such as using maybe a catchphrase or using homophones or yeah, so they would perform to the public drama presentations and songs on drug awareness. For sustaining it, we just thought they would analyse what they had done, the many things that they had done, and how each step contributed to drug awareness, and who was their target, who did they reach out to in the community, and how could they improve it. And then we just finished with a discussion of the importance of wise choice making. And that's it.